Hello, welcome to Barcelona Update News, your number one destination for the latest football news, transfer updates, match analysis, breaking stories, and everything happening around the football. If you're new in this channel, please remember to subscribe, share, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss any important football updates. Breaking news: the magical trio of Barcelona, Lamine Yamal, Pedri, and Julián Álvarez, the three stars destined to bring glory back to Camp Nou. There are moments in football when supporters begin to dream again. Moments when a team discovers a special combination of players. Moments when talent, passion, and imagination come together to create something extraordinary. Barcelona supporters have seen many legendary trios throughout the club's history. Great teams have been built on players who understood each other perfectly. Players who could change matches in a matter of seconds. Now imagine a new era, a new generation, a new magical trio. At the heart of it are three extraordinary footballers: Lamine Yamal, Pedri, Julián Álvarez. Three players, three different qualities, one dream: to bring Barcelona back to the top of European football. The magician, Lamine Yamal. Every generation produces a special talent. A player capable of doing things that seem impossible. A player who makes fans leave their seats every time he touches the ball. For Barcelona, that player is Lamine Yamal. Despite his young age, he already plays with incredible confidence. He dribbles past defenders as though they do not exist. He creates opportunities from nothing. He sees passes that others cannot imagine. Most importantly, he plays with joy. Every time Lamine receives the ball, supporters believe something magical might happen. That is the sign of a special player. That is the sign of a future superstar. The conductor, Pedri. If Lamine is the magician, Pedri is the conductor. Football seems easy when he plays. He controls matches with intelligence. He dictates the rhythm. He knows when to accelerate and when to slow the game. His vision is extraordinary. His first touch is beautiful. His understanding of space is remarkable. Pedri does not simply play football. He understands football. That is why so many people consider him one of the best midfielders of his generation. The warrior, Julián Álvarez. Every great team needs a goal scorer, a player who never stops fighting, a player willing to run for every ball, a player who can decide the biggest matches. Julián Álvarez is exactly that kind of player. He presses relentlessly, he scores important goals, he creates chances. He works harder than almost anyone on the pitch. Most importantly, he possesses a champion's mentality. No matter the score, no matter the opponent, he never gives up. The beginning of the dream. Imagine a Champions League night at Camp Nou. The stadium is full. More than 90,000 supporters are singing. Barcelona need a goal. Pedri receives the ball in midfield. He turns elegantly. Lamine Yamal begins running on the right side. Pedri delivers a perfect pass. Lamine controls it beautifully. The defenders approach. One step, two steps. A brilliant dribble. Suddenly he sees Julián Álvarez making a run. A low cross follows. Álvarez slides toward the ball. Goal. The stadium explodes. The players celebrate. The supporters believe again. A new trio has been born. Why this trio could become special. The beauty of football lies in balance. Every great trio contains players with different strengths. Lamine Yamal brings creativity. Pedri brings control. Julián Álvarez brings goals and energy. Together, they complete one another. When one player struggles, another steps forward. When one player creates, another finishes. When one player loses the ball, another fights to win it back. This is what makes great teams. This is what creates legends. The understanding between them. Chemistry in football cannot be bought. It cannot be forced. It grows naturally. Imagine these three players training every day. Pedri learns exactly when Álvarez will run. Lamine understands where Pedri wants the ball. Álvarez begins predicting every movement from his teammates. Little by little, the connection becomes stronger. Then something extraordinary happens. They no longer need words, they simply know. They know where each other will move. They know when to pass. They know when to attack. That understanding creates magic. The first El Clasico. The biggest game in Spain arrives, an El Clasico against Real Madrid CF. The atmosphere is electric, the stadium shakes. Barcelona need heroes. In the 20th minute, Pedri wins possession. He immediately finds Lamine. Lamine dribbles past one defender, then another. He crosses. Álvarez jumps. Goal. Camp Nou erupts. The trio celebrate together. The dream grows even bigger. The Champions League journey. Barcelona enter Europe with enormous ambition. The supporters dream of glory. The players dream of history. Throughout the group stage, the trio continues shining. Lamine provides assists. Pedri controls matches. Álvarez scores goals. Every week, the partnership improves. Every week, the team becomes stronger. Europe begins to pay attention. Commentators start talking. Analysts begin praising the trio. Some even call them the future of Barcelona. The semi-final. The Champions League semi-final arrives. Barcelona face one of Europe's giants. The first leg ends in a draw. Everything will be decided at Camp Nou. The atmosphere is unforgettable. The match is tense. Only minutes remain. The score is level. Pedri receives the ball. He turns. He finds Lamine. Lamine dribbles inside. He sees Álvarez. One pass. One touch. Goal. The stadium explodes. Barcelona reach the final. The players embrace. The supporters cry with joy. The trio have delivered once again. The final, millions of people watch around the world. The lights shine brightly. The Champions League trophy stands beside the pitch. The match begins. The opponents attack. Barcelona suffer, but champions always find a way. In the second half, Pedri plays an incredible pass. Lamine races forward. He beats his defender. He crosses. Álvarez finishes. Goal. Barcelona lead. The final whistle eventually arrives. Barcelona are champions of Europe. The players run toward the supporters. The trio stand together. Lamine Yamal, Pedri, Julián Álvarez. 3 players, 3 stars, 3 heroes. The legacy years. Later, supporters still remember that magical season. They remember the goals. They remember the assists. They remember the celebrations. Most importantly, they remember the football, beautiful football, attacking football, Barcelona football. The trio became symbols of hope, symbols of ambition, symbols of a new era. Because football is not only about trophies, it is also about dreams. And sometimes 3 extraordinary players can make an entire city believe again. The new kings of Camp Nou. As the stadium lights shine over Barcelona, the supporters sing one final song. A song dedicated to the trio that brought magic back to Camp Nou. Lamine Yamal, Pedri, Julián Álvarez. 3 stars, 1 club, 1 dream, and a future full of possibilities. The celebrations after winning the Champions League lasted all night. The streets of Barcelona were filled with songs. Flags waved everywhere. Supporters cried with happiness. Children wore the shirts of their heroes. One name echoed across the city again and again. Lamine, Pedri, Julián. But inside the dressing room, the 3 stars had another dream. They did not want one magical season. They wanted an era. They wanted to build a dynasty. The promise. As the celebrations slowly ended, the players remained inside the dressing room. Pedri stood up. He looked at his teammates. "We cannot stop here," he said. Lamine smiled. "This is only the beginning." Julián Álvarez nodded. "We must make history." The 3 players shook hands. It was not an ordinary handshake. It was a promise. A promise to continue fighting. A promise to continue winning. A promise to make Barcelona great again. The evolution of Lamine Yamal. The following season, Lamine became even more dangerous. Defenders already feared him. Now they could hardly stop him. His dribbling became sharper. His finishing became more clinical. His decision-making improved. Every match seemed to produce another magical moment. One weekend, he scored from outside the box. The next week, he provided 2 assists. Then, he scored a hat-trick. The football world was amazed. Commentators started saying, He is becoming one of the best players on the planet. Pedri reaches another level. If Lamine brought magic, Pedri brought control. He became the heartbeat of the team. Every attack passed through him. Every important moment involved him. He dictated matches like a true maestro. The comparisons with some of Barcelona's greatest midfielders began. Former players praised his intelligence. Coaches admired his vision. Supporters adored him. Whenever Barcelona needed calm, Pedri delivered it. Whenever they needed creativity, Pedri produced it. He became the leader of the midfield, the relentless Julián Álvarez. Meanwhile, Julián Álvarez became a scoring machine. Goals in the league, goals in Europe, goals in the biggest matches. But what made supporters love him even more was his work ethic. He pressed tirelessly. He fought for every ball. He celebrated every goal with passion. He represented everything Barcelona fans love: hard work, determination, commitment. The supporters started calling him